Yesterday evening, a number of people missed out on what I was talking about. So I'm going to repeat it a little bit of it, make it simpler. So we were talking about this part. This is experiential. So if you have not experienced this, it may be a bit difficult to understand. But you can have a general idea so that when you come into the situation, you will know what to do. So when you talk of meditation, mindfulness of consciousness, you're observing the mind observing the mind. Can the mind observe the mind? You can. Can you look at yourself? Yes, you can look at yourself. There's the mirror. If you can look at your face, at least you can look at your hands. So similarly, you can watch the mind and watch the mind. Then there's two minds. Which is the real mind? One is an object, one is not the object. It's that which knows the object. So do you watch that which knows the object or the object? I'm playing with you. Because everything are objects. But the object cannot be there unless the mind is there. Is it? Or the mind, is it the other way around? Well, if there's no mind, there's no object. Correct? The object is conditioning for the mind to exist. So what is really happening? So watch. I remember long ago somebody asked, can the mind watch the mind? It's the eternal question. I said, what type of answer do you want? You want a Zen answer or Abhidhamma answer? Then he said, I want a Zen answer. You go and watch, see what happens. And what about the Abhidhamma answer? You're watching the consciousness that is the immediate past, which is as good as a Zen answer. So, to make things simple, be simple. No, but not stupid, be simple. And you just watch the mind. What mind to watch? Any mind that can be watched. But here we are talking of it in a more serious manner. Because you're dealing with satipatthana. Satipatthana, that means it brings you to the unconditioned, the supramundane. Ordinary watching of the mind, it doesn't. Ordinary observation is like, what am I thinking? I'm thinking of food. I'm thinking of my girlfriend. I'm thinking of my dog. That one is ordinary thinking. Sometimes it comes with defilement, sometimes it doesn't, but still worldly. So in this kind of observation, vipassana observation, it has to be of a deeper level of concentration. To be observation which is very sharp and impersonal and free from all types of concepts as far as possible. And finally, to watch the consciousness in terms of a three universal characteristics: impermanence, suffering, non-self, which means observe in a way that you transcend the consciousness. So the first part we talk about is the previous one, where you watch the mind running to the six other sense doors as well. When you go into deeper observation, that means you're watching only the mind. And that means it's watching it only in the mind door. When you're watching the mind, there's only the mind. Body is secondary if it is not absent. So these are what things that generally happen. This is the digital method and this is the cloud method, open, narrow. Digital type is more narrow, and the base of it is the mindful consciousness. So you're watching consciousness. Okay, consciousness, consciousness, consciousness. How is this consciousness? It's like this, it's like that, it's light, it's heavy, and so on, so on, so on. And so you keep following. So it's like just having one straight line, digital method. You watch the consciousness, how it changes moment to moment. And when you can see it very fast, then it goes into this beats. I've explained about this first three, so I'm not going through it again. But up to here, that means the three characteristics are strong. That means in a split of a second, zoom, very fast. You see the consciousness rise and pass away. Something like you see something pass very fast. You ask, is it a bird? No, it's not a bird. Zoom again. Is it a plane? Not a plane. Then zoom. Is it Superman? No. Zoom. Then you see it's consciousness. But when it passes very fast, it's not so easy to see because you only see the passing. It's very fast. Sometimes your mind is sharp enough In 1 second pass, you see many consciousness arise and pass away. They're like small little shiny points. They go. But the point is you have to go to the point, pointy points. The point is you go to the point where you see consciousness passes away the moment it arises. That's the actual meaning of the impermanence. That means it arises, passes away very clearly, but so fast that it starts to transcend the specific characteristic. That means, is it consciousness? It's not consciousness. It is impermanence. Because it passes so fast that the consciousness is not there. So what is the impermanence? That is conditioning. You can say that is a dharma. Dharma is more general. So the word dhammanupassana would be more precise because it's a dharma. So you go, this one is actually very fast. That means it's already reached the level of the 3 characteristics. That means at least the 4th insight knowledge. This is my postulation because I draw this. This is my postulation because I draw this. But I didn't create this. I just put all these experiences in a paper according to my own, I wouldn't say fancy, my discretion. So now we go to this eventually. Because when you do digital, it's like going in one line. Ding, 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 ding. I will follow you to the end of the world. So there come a point, there's already the consciousness is like it's not there anymore. Everything looks the same. So it disappears into the whole ocean of conditioning. It means you're completely deep into the matrix. Because this conditioning, this formations, it's like a whole thing. Like a matrix. Now, when you come to this part, this becomes the cloud method. For example, when you go to the moth, tell the example, when you be aware of consciousness, you watch the consciousness usually around the chest. The head is not so suitable because on the head there are the 5 senses. So you tend to try to see things. Whereas here you tend to feel it more than you see it. So you can keep your mindfulness here, then your mindfulness is like a candle flame. The awareness. Awareness is clear and bright. But it is not always permanent, Especially doing vipassana, you see it flicker and you know that it is not light, it is clarity. But if you have samatha tendency, you may start looking at it as something bright, you end up seeing light. But it's not light, it's clarity. And you find that when you feel here, all the other sensations are around. So it is as if you're watching more than one object. Consciousness is one object. The other sensations around are objects, but different from the face of the dog. The dog runs after the object, but here the object comes to you. Even walking, sometimes when you're doing very seriously, you feel you're walking on the same spot, and where you're going seems to come to you. Yeah, why? Because the reference is the mind. So things come to the mind. Sometimes you hear a sound because the sound hits the ear. So similarly, the mind, the object comes to the mind. So the more concentrated you are, the closer the object would approach. Sometimes you see the moon. Do you look at the moon? Moon gazers. Do you look at the moon? You like to look at the moon. Why?
Beautiful.
It's romantic. Once you watch the moon will come to you. The more you concentrate, the moon will come closer, closer, closer. Yeah? So similarly, when you watch the sensations, when your concentration becomes better, it comes closer. So when it touches, poop, disappears. Because the object and the consciousness comes together naturally. So they arise and pass away immediately when it is the concentration and mindfulness is strong enough. And so we say that the mind and the object arises and passes away together. So when you come to the next one, then the cloud method expands into the consciousness itself. For example, when you look at when you do walking meditation, you're aware of the right, left, but you're also aware of the surroundings. When you're doing walking meditation, can you see things around you? Yeah, you do. You're still doing walking meditation. Because when your concentration deepens, then at that time you don't see anything. But often when this happens, people don't realize it. But if they remain in their concentration for longer, then they realize. When they wake up, we find that they were completely absorbed in watching the process. In this case, the many processes happen even within each step. Similarly, when you watch consciousness in a cloud method, you find that the consciousness is not so simple. A lot of conditions and things happen because all the types of mental factors are going on down there. You also see all the type of consciousness that are nearby. Seems that they cannot coexist, but when you watch them, they seem to coexist. For example, when people watch rising, falling, or watch the consciousness, sometimes commentary going on. Sometimes there's a song going on. Suddenly you hear Pavarotti singing. Oh! Sometimes also the mind thinks of other consciousness and other mental objects. So while you're watching the consciousness, there seems to be another consciousness out there. And don't forget the mind door. It's a Bhavanga Citta. It's like a screen behind a screen. So when you watch that, but you follow the main consciousness that you have been watching. So that consciousness is the consciousness of the moment. So when you watch the consciousness of the moment, you find all other consciousness are creating a space around it. It comes then when you wake up, then you become more clear, because when you're doing walking meditation or doing other things, you're watching the consciousness of the moment. And when you're watching that, you find that you still can see things, you can still hear, you know you're in the middle environment. The fact that you know that your surrounding conditions around you, there are consciousness that know that. For example, there's a consciousness that hear me talking. There's a consciousness that see me talking. Two different consciousness. Although we explain it by saying it does not occur at the same time, no? But the process is so fast that they seem to be the same. But that's theory. Unless you experience it, then it is experiential. Not that the theory is wrong, the theory is right. But when you experience it, it's different in the sense that it creates more transformation in your consciousness. Now, while we are doing that, you're listening to me talking, you're also aware of the people around here, especially this translator here. So this is the whole hall. That means there's a consciousness that knows the whole hall at the moment. Otherwise you wouldn't know the hall. So the main line you follow is the talk, but there's still the whole environment of the consciousness. So we can be doing Cittanupassana while doing walking meditation. That means you're watching the consciousness moving along and the consciousness around. But the nature of consciousness becomes much clearer is when you just go into consciousness. You say the consciousness is the knowing, but the knowing is only one aspect of the consciousness. There are different mental states there, and they're always changing. And one consciousness flows onto another types of consciousness. It's not only that, there are all the other conditions that are connected to it. Though they may not be specifically consciousness, they are still mental objects. And they are mental objects. Consciousness is also a mental object. It is the primary mental object that you're following. When concentration becomes very strong, then it's just the consciousness arising and passing away. So from here you go to here. This becomes very subtle. This is the awareness of the present. The present awareness is the dandelion seed. When it becomes more subtle, they are all in the clouds. It's no longer the dandelion seed or the butterfly. Oh, they are in the clouds. You see it, you don't. You see it, you don't. It spreads out. It becomes one and so on. But you know it's consciousness. You must be very careful, because some people, especially if they do a lot of samatha and their mindfulness of consciousness is not strong, they end up with other types of mental objects. They think it's consciousness, but they're mental objects and they're mental concepts. Then it becomes tricky. So but when you go to the three characteristics in this case, and finally again, what happened? There's no more consciousness. Only the conditions that give rise to consciousness. And the most basic one is what they call the Sankata Lakkhana, the characteristics of conditioning of formations. It means the Upada Titi Bhanga, original, stasis and dissolution. three in one. Cafe, milk, and sugar. So that's where the Chittanupassana goes into pure Dhammanupassana. But in practice it is, you don't stay in one level all the time, you go up and down. It's a cycle, but you're in a deeper concentration, in an intensive retreat, and then the mind can be in the deeper level for periods. Enough of Chittanupassana. So we are talking about Dhammanupassana now. The first three are more for beginners. The Kaya Vedana, the talks are more for beginners. The part of the third foundation also for beginners. Deeper part of Chittanupassana, not for beginners. But it doesn't matter principianti or non-principianti. Just go on practicing. This is explained because some people say, why are you telling me this? I don't understand all this. I'm not telling you this. I'm telling you to other people who understand it. Because in a big group, you cannot always be talking only to beginners. Here there are not that many beginners, inverted commas. Many of them I know since I came to Europe 20 years ago. So when you come to Dhammanupassana, then you're coming to the actual vipassana. No, the other three are not vipassana. The other three are also vipassana. Dhammanupassana covers everything. That is vipassana. Because the Kaya, Vedana and Citta are also Dhammas. Dhamma means phenomena or natural truths. On the broader scale sense, they talk also of the teachings. These are study, theory, which meant to lead your mind to the actual practice. So there are many meanings for the word Dhamma, but here we use it in the context of phenomena or natural realities, or you can say ultimate realities, Paramatha Dhamma. Parama means beyond. I like that. I like the sound of it. Atta is like meaning. Dhamma is phenomena. So for my personal preference, I would use the meaning to translate the word Paramatha Dhamma as phenomena that leads to the ultimate, beyond. For example, Citta, consciousness, is the ultimate reality. You can perceive it, mindful of it, without any concepts. But you don't stop there, because even at this level of specific characteristics, like hardness, they're only at the initial level of reality beyond concepts. But because there's no non-conceptual, when the mindfulness is penetrative enough, you can go beyond it to the deeper levels of reality, like the three characteristics. And finally, to the ultimate unconditioned. So you see, the object of vipassana is a Paramatha Dhamma, ultimate reality. There is not just that is defined by its specific characteristics, but also beyond that. So the first charge here is development of insight mindfulness. When you talk of the objects as Paramatha Dhammas, there's so many of them. And so as you observe it, it will become more transcendental and transformed into a different form. Why did develop the mindfulness, development of insight? It's like this whole Paramatha Dhamma, ultimate realities, and all its connections. It's like a whole matrix, which is never the same for a moment. And you look at it, when it's free from concept, it is timeless. All these concepts, very important, very critical in limiting the development of insight. For example, you talk about the different compactness, Ghana, Patet. For example, the first is the compactness of mass. That means you see what is one thing, a mass of things. But actually there are many things. Right? You make a cake, you mix. There's only one thing. But actually it's made of many ingredients. Then there's compactness of continuity. Like it's continuous, one whole line. But no, actually many arising and passing away. And the concept of time has something to do with it. Then there's a compactness of objects, compactness of function. Yeah, and so to see the development so clearly, how it goes, it's not so easy to make a flow chart for all of them. But their passage can be traced by the mindfulness that goes about it. So this mass matrix of sankharas, the conditioning, when you put aside all time, space, it's a very strange thing. All the concepts, spaces. You can say it's an illusion, but mind you, illusion doesn't mean it's not there. Illusion is present as an illusion. Jhana illusion? Yes, it's an illusion, but it's there. An illusion can talk to another illusion. Illusion means it's not really real. When you really awaken, then there's no illusion. It means you really awaken. Really. Stop here tonight.